Hey, Captain Starchild here with another chapter of the adventures of Captain Starchild and the Never Maybe crew, the return of the merry pranksters. And here's a prankster type of person I want to introduce you to. His name is Jeff. He's a new buddy of mine, a real blessing that came into my life. He's a really calm, cool cat, calm and collected, keeps it down. He holds my he helps me hold a balance. He's very kind and empathetic, very caring individual, which was the answer to my prayers in this new house I got into called Elliott Lodge. Which was, long story short, anyways, it's cool shit, divine synchronicities happening, and I'm going to turn it over to Jeff because I get long-winded, and I'm going to let him tell his story. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my buddy Jeff. What's your second name? Jeff what?
Jeff Zieler.
Jeff Zieler, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah, I guess my life, I grew up all across this great nation of ours. As a kid, I generally would start school in one state, and I'd end that school year in another state.
Oh, wow.
And it was pretty cool. I liked that most of the time.
So you liked the moving around? It was good for you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's so cool to hear because so many people that I've heard that had that lifestyle, like, didn't like it. They got uprooted and they didn't like losing friends and having to build new friends. So tell me how tell me how cool it was for you.
Well, I mean, sure, there was that kind of loss, but there was always something new to do, you know, like I know I'd be going somewhere and kind of know going in.
So was it kind of an adventure for you?
That's exactly it.
Man, that's fucking awesome.
And
thank you, God, for giving Jeff like a good outlook to take it as an adventure and not a traumatic experience, man. That is awesome shit. All right.
Life's just gonna traumatize you.
Yeah, life is traumatizing,
you can't
man.
avoid that, but there's also always cool opportunities, and
right.
That's kind of what worked for me is I'd always get to do cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Tell me three cool things. Three cool stuffs you did.
Well, when I was in 3rd grade, I lived in Hurst, Texas, which is
Hurst.
Hurst. It's like halfway between Dallas and Fort Worth, right?
I don't know where those are. Where in the state of Texas?
Those are the two. Well, it's kind of southern-ish. One of them is on the coast, and one of them is inland. But,
okay.
But it's.
So you were close to the coast?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow! Did you go to the ocean, beaches and shit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You swam and shit?
Yep.
Did you surf?
No, I was in 3rd grade.
Boogie board or anything?
Boogie boards were just starting to happen, but I didn't. We didn't live close enough. You need to go like every day.
Right.
Sort of thing
I've never done either of those things.
I did a little older, but that's right. You got to do it all the time. But in Hurst, Texas, my dad is into history, and we got to be in a Civil War.
My dad's into history too, man, big time. My dad's a World War II buff.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Well, my dad just likes war in general,
Uh-huh.
and they got these guys, well, I guess they're all over the country, but they get together and they dress up like they're in the Civil War.
Yes, I've heard about this. Civil War reenactments?
Exactly.
You did that shit?
Yeah, dude, I was what they call a powder monkey.
It's powder monkey?
Yeah, dude, like in the Civil War.
Fucking sweet,
they
dude.
had little boys like 10 to 13, if you're too small to be like actually a soldier. In a cannon battery, they'd have
12 and 13-year-old boys were out on the battlefield in the Civil War?
Like 10 to 13-year-olds.
Holy shit, dog.
What they do is, if you're firing a cannon, you don't keep like the gunpowder and shit right next to the cannon, right? Because
you don't want an explosion, right?
Right. So you'd have a kid that would run back and forth between the magazine. This is what we call a pile of gunpowder and cannonballs. You run back and forth between the cannon and the pile of gunpowder and stuff to fire the guns.
You got a little satchel or something full of gunpowder?
Yep. You
what is it like? What did you carry? What was your outfit? Describe your outfit.
Okay, I had a pair of. I was just like the soldiers, pretty much. Most of those guys wore like the regular infantry enlisted guys. They had like olive green, pretty much jeans, right, with a red stripe down the side, and then you know, like the old style long underwear, like red long underwear shirts that have like buttons up here.
Yeah, I have a pair of fucking old school red button up, button crotch, button ass long johns.
Well, you'd have one of those top, but it'd be red, right? A red shirt like that, and then you'd have like a gun belt with like a knife and a
A
pistol.
gun belt?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, a big thing would say CSA, Confederate States of America. a
Oh,
big
you
brass
were on the
buckle.
Confederate side?
Well, it was Texas, brother. I
Oh,
mean,
right.
yeah.
Well, but it's Texas, but you're doing a Civil War reenactment, so there has to be people on the
On
Union
both sides.
side.
Well, yeah. Well, what had happened though is they'd reenact these big ass battles. Frequently, if they couldn't get it on site, they do it somewhere near the site, and people from the north would come down and dressed up like, you know, people from the north.
Oh, so you're telling me the Union soldiers in your reenactments actually came from the Union?
Yeah.
You couldn't find no Union reenactors down in the Confederate States?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there were guys doing it, but most of the time, people were trying to like recreate actual real units and stuff. Like, you know, like if you're real into history, like, you know, you'd want to be part of a unit that was really from where you're from.
Right,
And
right.
it's like here we've got Fort Snelling,
Right.
You know, and it's like they do all sorts of fur trade, and I did that later.
Fort
but-
Snelling, the site of the largest mass execution in United States history, the Dakota 38+2.
Yep. And Minnesota has. I never did any Civil War stuff here, but I did a bunch of black powder and Voyageur reenactments here.
Mhm.
And that's my second favorite thing is I was in Boy Scouts, and
How far did you make it?
I was just a Star Scout.
What's that, Star?
That's two. You go Star, Life, Eagle. So it was like I was.
You made it up to Star?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I only made it to second class.
But
The
hey,
first one. You know what my troop was called?
What was it called?
The Hard Rock Troop.
The Hard Rock Troop.
Yeah.
Right on. Now, what council were you in, man?
Troop 107.
Oh, no, but right, but you know how like you have your troops and they'll be part of a council, right? So like back then I was in the Viking Council.
I don't
for this,
remember what
like,
council I was in.
Did you go to summer camps?
Yeah, I went to
Did
Boy
you
Scout
go-
summer camp.
Did you go to Tomahawk? Is
Went
that
to
where you-
Tomahawk.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I did
Holy shit,
Tomahawk
man.
and
Thanks for bringing that
Mayflower.
memory back. You know, I liked Boy Scouts, but I wasn't motivated about it. And after I went through Webelos, Cub Scouts, and my dad was the Cub Scout leader, along with Bob Babelick down the street. Bob Babelick Jr. is my oldest friend in the world since second grade, and we're still buddies.
Right on.
He's
That's
a
very
real cool cat, man. Real cool cat.
And you were in scouts with this guy too?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
came up in Webelos, and we went to St. Matthew's Catholic School together I was there first, second, third grade, and we did Webelos, Cub Scouts, and then Bear Scouts, and then Boy Scouts. And if I remember correctly, the first level that you can achieve in Boy Scouts is second class.
No, it's Tenderfoot.
Tenderfoot?
This is right when you go, and then second class, first class, Star, Life, Eagle.
So to make a long story short, I only made it to second class, and then I got into sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and I
Yeah.
quit.
Hey,
My
that's
dad's
kind
so
of the
much.
progression,
I
man.
think I should ask my dad this, but I really think he really always wanted one of his sons to make Eagle Scout, and I feel a little bad that I let him down, but I'm not feeling bad. You know what I mean? I let go of it.
Yeah.
But
it was a
dude,
thing
when I meet an
once,
Eagle
yeah.
Scout, I'm like very honored. I'm like, that is some fucking serious accomplishment. And Star, that's some serious accomplishment too. Star's only 2 down from Eagle, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Boy Scouts builds character,
It does.
and it builds skills, it builds community, it builds like relationship skills,
yeah.
teamwork skills,
Personally, it gives
responsibility,
you
moral
resilience
code.
and
I
self-reliance.
promise to do my honor, to do my best, to God and my country, to help
Obey the
other
scout
people.
laws, to help other people at all times. Keep myself
physically fit, morally straight,
and
mentally awake.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude. That's a good code.
Oh, it is. It
Hey,
is.
what do you think about homosexuals in the Boy Scouts?
I think it's great.
What do you think about homosexual scout leaders?
I think they're great.
Right on, man.
I mean, people mistake pedophiles with homosexuals, and I don't think anybody wants pedophiles leading Boy Scouts. But gay people are just people, and scouting needs leaders. So.
In my scouting troop, there was no funky business. There was nothing but good, fucking solid men, fathers from the community that took us on cool fucking adventures.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing about Scouts is cool adventures, your character building, like you were saying, and they teach you to have faith in yourself.
Dude, it was so fucking cool for me being, 12, 13, up to Tomahawk and shooting rifles.
Yeah.
Shooting the 22s on top. I was good too. I was usually close to, I had groupings close to the bullseye. Like I know the leader of the gun range gave me a kudos. You know what I mean? I was proud of that.
Oh, I'm sure. And that's that part of that character.
Oh my God, dude! And the fucking campfire they do. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
It was like 30 feet high, man. Yep. And to light it, they had this rope or this chain or some shit strung up on a tree way up there, and this fireball comes down this zip line into the center of this log cabin fire like 30 foot high, and the shit goes up, it flames. It was so cool.
It has to end up moving back because it's so gosh darn hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other place I seen shit like that blew my fucking mind was Burning Man.
Yeah.
I made it to Burning Man in 2007, dude.
Oh, that's so
By
cool.
my grace of God, my friend Maria Mango, I met on MySpace back in the day. She sponsored me. She calls me one day and she's like, hey, do you want to go to Burning Man? I'm like, fuck yeah, but I ain't got no money. She's like, well, what if you had a ticket? I'm like, how am I going to get there? I don't know.
Exactly.
And she's like, what if you had a plane ticket? I'm like, well, if I had a ticket to Burning Man and a plane ticket, I'd be
run out of. You just got a 15%.
I'd be right there.
Warning, brother.
And so she hooks me up and sponsors me, and I rustled up enough money to pay for half my plane ticket. I fucking got on the interwebs, and I flew into Vegas, and I located a rideshare with a dude that was renting an RV, so I took a taxi to the RV rental. This dude, Andres Fabris, still friends with him on Facebook. Andres Fabris drives me to Burning Man straight from Las Vegas. And then I only had a tent. I was going solo. I had a fucking flimsy ass tent. And he let me stay in his RV the first 4 days because his crew wasn't coming till the weekend.
Oh, wow.
And then the other days, I just manifested other places to crash and lay down. Now, if I did Burning Man again, I would do it the real way and I wouldn't go to sleep. I'd stay up the whole 7 days.
Oh, my word.
The motto, the chant, the slogan everybody says at Burning Man, sleep when you're dead, bitch. But dude, okay, so there's all these installations, these art installations, okay? And this one art installation in 2007 was an oil rig made out of wood. It was about 80 foot tall, oil derrick. And then they had some kind of educational thing about, you know, how fucked up the oil industry is and shit. So anyways, it came the night for what they do is they build all these installations and then they burn them. Burning Man is centered around, they put a big effigy of a man up in the middle of the camp. And then on the very last day of Burning Man, they burn the man. But throughout the week, they burn all kind of shit. So the night of the oil rig burning, one of my best psychedelic experiences of my entire life. We did. Now, Maria Mango, so I hooked up with her there too at Burning Man, and she's a burner. She's been multiple times. So she was my guide, you know what I mean? She totally hooked me up fat as fuck. Every day, she had another set of drugs for me and us, and we would go around busking and singing to campsites. She's another singer, guitar. She does ukulele, and she's a songwriter. She's written 5 and recorded 5 albums of very beautiful hippie love songs. And so she knew all the people in all the camps. You know, she introduced me to so many people. She brought me to the Penguin Cafe one night and I played a set. I have it on YouTube, a couple songs live from Burning Man. Anyways, the night of the oil derrick burning, I'm on psilocybin, MDMA, and LSD. The most awesome combination I've ever done. And the only other time I did it was 1995 at the Grateful Dead show with 60,000 people on psychedelics. And I had the most magical experience. So we get to where the oil rig is gonna be, people are assembling, we get to the crowd, and dude, there's this school bus with a sound system on top of it playing the Star Spangled Banner, Jimi Hendrix from Woodstock, just psychedelic. And then we're waiting and waiting and waiting. Dude, all of a sudden, boom! This massive fireball. I'm talking about like probably a 200 foot wide, 100 foot tall mushroom cloud. And I screamed like a little fucking girl and started running away. I had a flashback, a bad trip for a second, and I thought that government and the CIA had rounded up all the fucking free thinkers and hippies into the fucking middle of the desert and fucking dropped a nuclear bomb to incinerate us. and Maria caught me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I told her that. And she's, "No, bro, chill out, brother. It's okay." She totally calmed me down.
It's part of the art.
Yeah, and then we watched the rig burn down. It was so cool. It was a long burn. We were there hours till it fell down and what I found out later was how they ignited that was on each side of the derrick, they had rigged up 2,000 pounds of propane.
Oh, wow.
Through and they had like a tube attached to the tank, so they shot 2,000 pounds of propane out all at once.
Wow.
That shit was fucking real, dude. When I'm done making this video, I'll show you the video on YouTube of it. Fucking cool. Let me get back to the Civil War reenactment. All right, thank you for that long-winded interruption by Starchild. That's what I do. Okay, so you're at these reenactments. You're a gunpowder monkey boy.
Yeah.
And your outfit is green pants and red stripes.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys model your outfits after historical Civil War uniforms?
Like, as a kid, I just had that shirt, and then I wore a hat with the CSA. They had a little grass cannon if you were in an artillery squad. Like if you were in the rifle companies, you'd have a pair of cross rifles up on top of your little hat and stuff.
So each infantry had a different
the grown men had a jacket.
logo or whatever?
Well, no, they pretty much like the different kinds of units had different logos. Like if you're in an artillery group, you'd have a little cannon. If you're cavalry, you'd have cross sabers. And if you were rifleman, you had cross rifles. Just so people could look at you if you're walking around and know what you did. It was an army.
Yeah, so you can be identified.
And the grown-ups had these cool jackets that they wore with I think they were brass buttons, gray. They had Confederates wore gray.
It's probably not a
coats.
cheap hobby, huh?
No, it wasn't a cheap hobby.
You got to invest in this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something anybody could do, but it's just like if you're gonna wear hippie gear, you don't go out and just buy yourself a whole wardrobe on one weekend and just go boom. You kind of
it happens throughout time. Exactly. Because when you're looking for real special specific stuff, you just got to be hunting, and you get to the sweet spot and you get one piece. Then a couple 6 months go by and you find a thrift store. You pick up a garage sale. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And this is back in the days before we had an internet, so it took a little bit of wangling and talking and getting to know people and how they were doing it. But the coolest thing I ever did is we had this it was a 4-day event, and they had all these people down from the north to do this 3-day battle, and then there was a day before, a day after, kind of where we competed with each other. I got to do this artillery competition.
How do you guys decide who wins?
Well, it's a reenactment, so we kind of know going in. It's a reenactment of a real battle.
Oh, okay,
so,
cool, right.
As it would start for the day, they tell me okay, you're gonna get hit and die an hour into the battle.
Okay.
And so then there'd be breaks across the day where
What did you do when you died and you weren't in the reenactment no more?
Well, I'd go sit with my mom and watch.
Oh, cool. Was that cool?
Yeah, but it was kind of hard if you get hit. Where I was died, it was 45 minutes. I just had to kind of lie in a field.
Till the medics show up or whatever?
When they take a break, it's like you pretend they cleared away the dead folks or whatever, or took the wounded off to a field hospital or whatever. But in reality, we got to get up and walk away, and I got to go sit with my mom and watch the...
Would you rather have been able to keep in the reenactment?
No, I kind of like the opportunity to die. I really hammed it up, man.
Cool.
I just went boom. My mom actually got all scared that something.
Did you twitch and shit?
I didn't twitch. But
how did you ham it up?
I flew up in the air. I jumped up in the air like I got hit by this thing, and I just flopped down on the ground, and I didn't move for 45 minutes until they were gonna clear the stuff.
Now, how old were you when you were doing this?
So I must have been 10.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was cool. But they had a day before and a day after the reenactments part where there's all sorts of tourists.
Hey, did you love and respect your dad growing up?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And did he love and respect you growing up?
He loved me. He was a little bit of a what do you call it? psychologically abusive kind
Okay.
of character sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the man I'm talking about is like, almost 20 years younger than me now.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, he was in his early 30s. He was just kind of figuring the world out for
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
And he
So you forgive him.
Oh sure, yeah.
Cool.
I'm still on real good terms with him.
It
But
sounds like you didn't have any heavy trauma from him. Or did you?
I started seeing a psychiatrist when I was 14, and
Oh, good for you, bro.
It wasn't my choice.
Oh.
My mom had me doing it.
Okay.
But I worked most of that stuff out when I was still a kid.
Right on, man. Right on.
But there's still weird stuff like, you know how like you can have self-critical thoughts. You know, you can be like,
Oh, I know
down on
about
yourself.
that. Yep.
Like when I'm feeling like having judgmental, self-critical thoughts, it's like I hear it in my dad's voice.
Yeah.
And so I mean,
I know what you mean, dude.
none of us get through this without some trauma, man.
Yeah.
Life, if you're living your life,
No,
you're
but
gonna take some
but
hits.
in my work, I do come along people that can say with confidence, like I had a pretty straight up good childhood and wasn't traumatized and made it through. I mean, there was little things and shit, but my parents were loving, respectful, kind, caring individuals, and that blesses my heart that still exists.
Oh, heck yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, Starchild, you have a very refreshing point of view about some of this stuff.
Thank you.
It's good to talk to you, man, because
Thank
it
you.
takes you up a little bit,
Well, I'm a non-licensed lay therapist. I'm a non-licensed lay psychiatrist, psychologist, psychoanalyst. I've studied all those things.
Right on.
And I don't ever want to go to college. It fucking sucks, dude. It sucks your money. No, I did start thinking about wanting to go get a doctorate in psychopharmacology, but there's no way. I'm already doing that. I'm already doing those studies and living that lifestyle and studying from all the masters. I've met Ram Dass, aka Richard Alpert, smoked hash with him, Dennis McKenna, Rick Doblin from MAPS, did dinner with him, Sasha and Ann Shulgin. You know Sasha Shulgin?
I don't.
Sasha Shulgin is a research chemist. He died a couple years ago at like 102. And he's the man who invented and synthesized the most psychedelic compounds in all of history.
Wow.
Hundreds and hundreds of drugs he developed. He's the one who invented MDMA,
Okay.
ecstasy. And he was a rogue independent scientist. He started his career out for a corporation, but then he went rogue independent. And he had a home laboratory. He was like an ancient, like a wizard, like an alchemist. And he would invent these drugs, and then him and his wife would take them, and with a control group, and then they would analyze exactly what the experience was all about and what the drug did. Like when he gave us his talk, he was telling me about these one drugs that he invented, that all that it did was make auditory hallucinations. Everything they heard was an octave lower than it came out,
Wow.
or an octave higher than it came out. And or certain drugs that all they saw was red, or all they saw was purple. But he's the one who invented MDMA, which now is being used in clinical trials. MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, founded by Rick Doblin in the 80s after they made ecstasy, MDMA illegal. And he has been responsible, that organization has been responsible for, now they're in stage 3 clinical trials for using MDMA for PTSD in veterans. FDA approved. They're the organization responsible for the first FDA approved psychedelic studies since the 1970s, or since the 1960s. The Harvard LSD studies with Timothy Leary and Baba Ram Dass, aka Dr. Richard Alpert. And it was cool as fuck to meet Rick, man. He's a really cool guy, and it was cool as fuck to smoke hash with Baba Ram Dass, and it was cool as fuck to listen to Sasha Shulgin. It was cool as fuck to do a meditation with Ralph Metzner. Oh my god, dude. Anyways, I got long-winded there.
That's all right, bud.
I was just
Kind of the
excited.
point of this,
Yeah.
I think is we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's where it takes you. Now, you mentioned Dennis McKenna, and I like his brother Terrence.
Terrence, yeah,
Yes,
Terrence
I
is one of
really
my
like
most
that.
powerful teachers and heroes of mine. He's a role model and idol. And I never got to meet him because I didn't even know about him till after he was dead. He died very young, back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But his work inspired me right up there with Timothy Leary, the most powerful inspirational forces in my life, man. This is one of my top teachers. And I spent years and years and years listening to YouTube lectures of Terrence McKenna.
Yeah. That's
Such
one of the
an
best things
interesting
about
character.
YouTube, actually.
And I relate to him deeply because he's an old Irish Catholic man. He's an Irish Catholic bard, just like me. He's a poet. His speaking and his lectures are so poetic.
Oh yeah, there's
And
just
his use of language is so incredible. Oh my God, man. Yeah, and Dennis is a cool man. And Dennis teaches here at the University of Minnesota in the Center for Science and Spirituality. And over the last couple years since I found that out, I was actually thinking, like, for the first time, like, I'd kind of like to go to take some college classes and study with Dennis McKenna. And then I started thinking about, if I did go to college, what I would do would be to pursue a doctorate in psychopharmacology. And but the thing is I don't know if I'm ever going to do that or not, because I don't know if I'm ever going to stop my whole life and dedicate 12 years to that pursuit. And I don't know if I want to be a doctor. You know, I kind of like being a fucking peace, love hippie, and just a free spirit, and a man, this goddamn brain damage, man. I got brain damage from the psych meds, and all of a sudden I get stuck, and I know exactly what I want to say, and I can't goddamn think it. A free agent, what do you call, like, you know, when a corporation hires someone?
Consultant?
A consultant. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, exactly. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, you
See
know,
how I get by with a little help from my friends? That's the exact word I was looking for.
well, you know, if you wanted to go into practice, like real, like corporate practice at a hospital, you'd need to go get a doctorate in licensing and insurance. But if you just have an interest and want to do stuff on your own, you know, you can just go get books and
Exactly.
whatnot and learn stuff that you
Well,
like.
that's how I've been my whole life. Dude, I started riding my bike.
Why would you change at this point then?
That's it. That's exactly it. I seriously, I'm gonna say on the record, I highly doubt at this point in my life that I'll ever go pursue a 12-year doctorate in psychopharmacology. On the record. But bet, we'll see. Crazier things have happened. But I can't imagine sitting in a goddamn desk in a classroom for 12 more years of my life. I can't imagine it. And a 12-year doctorate, God, that'd cost me what, $500,000? And I could probably already test out on a bachelor's of psychopharmacology. I like being a free agent, a consultant more.
You know, though, that's the thing is, testing out, I've looked into that, and the problem with it is you can't just, like, go pay a reasonable fee and test out. You end up having to purchase the credits the same as if you took the
Right,
classes.
right.
And so if you do that, why wouldn't you just take the classes?
Right.
You see
Let
what
me
I'm
tell
saying?
you why I want to be a doctor of psychopharmacology.
Why is that? Why
Because
do you
I would
think
like to be able to write prescriptions for MDMA, LSD, and psilocybin to suffering abuse survivors and trauma combat vets and very, very hurt people. But you know what I do? I've been doing that since I was 16 years old, dude.
Yeah.
I've been handing out LSD and psilocybin and DMT to people since I was 16 years old, and I have changed people's lives and helped them evolve and helped them expand their mind and grow new brain matter. And ladies and gentlemen, do you know that LSD, psilocybin, and dimethyltryptamine are organic compounds known as drugs in the street? They're psychedelic drugs, hallucinogens, actually entheogens, and they actually create new neural networks in the brain. One. What does that mean? It means it's like you put another memory chip, it's like you put another processing board in your computer. They also grow new brain gray matter. What does that mean? That means it makes your brain bigger. That means you have a bigger motherboard, a bigger memory system, a bigger computer system.